Hi, friends. I'm Frances Lynn, and I serve as a Presbytery leader of Presbytery of Riverside. It's a vibrant and welcoming community of 24 churches spread across some of the sunniest corners of Southern California. From the mountains of San Bernardino to the lakes of Riverside and into Kern County, this presbytery holds an incredible range of people, places, and stories. Here's a fun tidbit. With the right timing, you can snow ski and water ski in the very same day. I've loved calling this place home for the past few years, and I'm constantly energized by the faith, resilience, and joy I see here.
And I'm Sean Chow. I serve as the Executive Director of the Presbytery of San Diego. Our presbytery stretches from the coast to the desert, from long-established congregations to new worshiping communities just finding their footing in unexpected places. It's a region marked by beauty, diversity, creativity, and real complexity. I'm continually humbled by the leaders and communities who show up with courage, imagination, and deep faith, even when the path isn't clear.
So, why are we standing here together?
It's not by accident. It grows out of friendships, shared ministry, and a deep love for the church.
Over the past few months, through prayers and discernment, and through many conversations with pastors, presbyteries, and congregational leaders across the church, we began to hear a consistent longing. Those conversations come from years of serving the church in different roles and contexts, walking with congregations, supporting leaders, and learning what faithfulness looks like in real, changing communities.
We heard hopes for the connection in a season of fragmentation, a desire for leadership that listens deeply, and a yearning for a church that can tell truth about its pain without losing hope. We've served in local congregations, presbyteries, and across the wider church, and we carry a deep respect for the weight of this role and the trust that it requires.
Those conversations, along with our own prayerful reflection, led us to a shared sense of calling.
And so, with humility and gratitude, we have discerned an invitation to stand together for election as co-moderators of the 227th General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church USA.
We want to name honestly that the church is in a season that requires lament. We grieve loss, division, exhaustion, and the very real wounds many leaders and communities are carrying. We grieve what has been lost. People, places, programs, and dreams that once sustained us. We also grieve that the church and the institutions that have carried it are changing in ways that can feel disorienting, unsettling, and deeply personal.
And even as we grieve, we confess that the God we serve is a God of blessings and abundance. Abundance does not deny loss or rush us past grief. It names a deeper truth, that God's generosity is not exhausted by what we have lost, and God's faithfulness is not limited by our scarcity.
Lament is not a failure of faith. It is a faithful response. Scripture gives us language to weep, to cry out, and to tell the truth before God, because God is strong enough to hold our sorrow.
And it's precisely there, in honest lament, that we discover the abundance of God. Not abundance as ease or excess, but abundance as presence, provision, and possibility. God's abundance shows up when communities keep together, when leaders keep praying, and when love refuses to let fear have the final word.
We've witnessed this firsthand, walking alongside a church that waited 6 years to call a pastor, or sitting with people whose church was burned down and who still found the courage to pivot into unknown while continuing to serve the needs of marginalized people in their community.
It's in these tender, vulnerable moments that we see God's amazing grace at work. Abundance looks like compassion that multiplies, community that holds one another up, and a hope that appears where we least expect it.
We have seen that abundance in Riverside, through long seasons of waiting, through loss and transition, and through the quiet resilience of congregation that continue to worship, serve, and love their neighbors.
And we've seen it again and again in San Diego, in worshiping communities that existed long before they're ever named as churches, in leaders who carried scripture, prayer, and pastoral responsibility without titles or certainty, and as Spanish-speaking men and women who gather week after week to study Scripture, pray together, and learn how to lead new expressions of faith rooted in their own communities. We also see it in congregations choosing generosity and mission, even when the future feels unclear.
As we look ahead to the General Assembly, we're looking forward to meeting all the commissioners. We are ready to listen, to hear your stories, and to share our love for God and the church together.
Because on our own, we can't do much. But with God and with each other, we can go far and do it better.
This story shapes how we understand faith and leadership. They remind us that lament and hope are not opposites. They belong together.
That's why we frame our shared vision around 3 invitations: to belong, to become, and to know ourselves as beloved.
We belong to God's larger story, to one another, and to the communities we are called to serve.
We are always becoming, growing through challenge and joy, learning what it means to lead with humility and hope.
And at the heart of it all, we are beloved, loved by God, not because of what we accomplish, but because of whose we are.
In belonging, we discover connection. In becoming, we find purpose. And as beloved, we find the courage to keep moving forward together.
We are grateful to be on this journey with you, and we look forward to listening, learning, lamenting, and hoping alongside you as God continues to shape the church we love.